trying to avoid a three-game sweep. Bottom of the first inning, and the Phillies strike first. Von Hayes picking up his 52nd RBI of the season with this sacrifice fly to right, scoring Lenny Dykstra on the play. Still in the bottom of the first, and it's Carmelo Martinez. He will get an RBI single, RBI number 30. This one into left field. Darren Daulton scoring, and it's Philadelphia 2-0 after 1 inning of play. To the top of the second, and the Giants come back with two of their own. First, Terry Kennedy with this RBI single, his 19th, scoring Matt Williams. A bases-loaded walk would make it 2-2. Top of the fourth now, in one of the stranger double plays you'll see. That was Jose Uribe hitting the comebacker. Uribe will then be tagged out at second by Tommy Herr. Next, it's Terry Kennedy getting tagged out over at third to complete the double play. Top of the fourth, and watch this nice defensive play by John Kruk as he will dive and make the sliding catch off the Dave Anderson hit in right field. John Kruk showing a nice play here to keep the game tied at 2. The tie would be broken in the bottom of the fourth. That's when Darren Daulton will come up with runners on second and third, and he will come up with this double into right center field. Scoring on the play, Jason Grimsley, the pitcher, and Lenny Dykstra, RBIs 38 and 39. It's 4-2 Philadelphia. We move now to the top of the sixth and watch Carmelo Martinez with the unassisted play and knockout on Dave Anderson. Anderson sent sprawling to the ground on this one. Martinez weighing in at about 220, almost 40 pounds more than Dave Anderson. As you watch it again, Anderson certainly not getting the better of this collision. Still in the top of the sixth now, and it's Will Clark facing Dennis Cook, who came on in relief. And Clark would tie this game up at 4, picking up his 75th and 76th RBI of the season. This one a broken bat bloop single into center field. Rick Parker and Brett Butler coming in to score, and we are tied at 4. More great defensive work in this one. Top of the seventh inning, we will move now, and this time it's not John Kruk in right field, but a fan. Kruk will go over to the right field wall trying to catch a Greg Litton fly, but a young man sticks his glove in the way and comes up with the souvenir ball, making his father very happy. Watch this one again. Kruk looks like he had it, but the fan comes up with the nice grab. More great defensive work in the top of the ninth. This one by one of the players, Charlie Hayes, with a nice hop and throw to get Matt Williams on the ground out. Charlie Hayes keeping this one tied at 4 as we will move into the bottom of the ninth, which set the stage for dramatics. Von Hayes would come to the plate with 1 on and 1 out, facing Mark Thurman in relief, and Hayes would hit his 15th homer of the season, RBIs 53 and 54 to win it. 6-4 the final. The Phillies sweep the Giants. Roger McDowell picks up the victory in relief. He is now 4-6. Mark Thurman taking the tough loss, dropping to 2-3. Torrey and the St. Louis Cardinals at home Thursday evening to take on the Houston Astros. Astros starting Danny Darwin, who is 5-0 in his last 8 starts. And Darwin gets some nice defensive work in center field by Eric Yelding. Yelding with a nice diving catch on the Vince Coleman shot into the right center field gap. Astros would go on top in the top of the second inning. Mark Davidson with his first home run of the season gives the Astros the 1-0 lead. That is RBI number 6 for Davidson, who gets his first home run and his 49th at bat for the Astros. Astros had a chance to blow it open in the top of the fourth, but a great defensive play by Ozzie Smith. Bases loaded and nobody out. Smith comes up with the 6-4-3 double play. Jose Oquendo doing a nice job turning this one. Glenn Wilson allowed to score on the play as the Astros would take a 2-0 lead, but it could have been worse if not for the nice Smith play. But Rafi Ramirez would come up in the inning. Ramirez with Craig Biggio on third, and Ramirez deposits this double into the left field corner. Biggio scores easily, Ramirez's 29th RBI, and the Astros led it 3-0. Cardinals finally got to Darwin in the bottom of the sixth inning. Willie McGee up with 2 on and 1 out. McGee with the ground ball over to first base. Stubbs makes a nice play to get McGee at first. Tim Jones scores on the play, and it's 3-1 Houston. The game would get ugly in the top of the seventh inning. Danny Darwin and Pedro Guerrero exchanging words at first base. Darwin on with an infield hit, and Guerrero swings at Darwin, causing both benches to clear. That's umpires Charlie Williams and Mark Hirschbeck at the bottom of the pile as the teams continue to go at it. Both Guerrero and Darwin would be ejected from the game. It was reported that Guerrero went after Darwin, trying to get to him in the clubhouse, and had to be restrained by police. Howe would be ejected as well, as he is thrown out of the game by Bob Davidson. The bad blood between the two began in the bottom of the sixth when Guerrero objected to this inside pitch by Danny Darwin. Back to baseball now, and in the bottom of the eighth inning, the Cardinals would cut the lead to 3-2. Dave Collins with this single into left center field, scoring Craig Wilson only his second RBI. That one off Juan Augusto, who came on in relief. But in the top of the ninth, Franklin Stubbs would get the run back with his 17th home run of the season off of reliever Ken Daly, and it was 4-2 going into the bottom of the ninth. A close call here for Mark Hirschbeck, the home plate umpire. He had already been tumbled upon during the fight, and here he catches a foul tip. Watch this one as it goes off of catcher Craig Biggio's mask and into the shoulder of Hirschbeck. He was all right and able to continue. He would then watch Dave Smith pick up his 20th save, getting Milt Thompson to ground out to Franklin Stubbs to end the game. 4-2 the final. Darwin goes to 8-1. Joe McGrain, taking the loss, his unbeaten streak of 6 snapped, drops to 8-13.
In Detroit tonight, and in the top of the first, it's the Brewers who get on the board first. It's Dave Parker. Singles into left field for his 70th RBI of the year. This brings around Paul Molitor to score. Milwaukee goes up 1-0. Rob Deere giving starter Ron Robinson a little defensive help. In the bottom of the first here, he makes a great diving catch on the Lou Whitaker line drive to right field. Rob Deere on fire as of late at the plate, but here showing it that he could do it in the field as well. As at the end of one, Milwaukee's up 1-0. But then in the top of the second, Detroit will get on the board as Cecil Fielder steps to the plate. And he takes Robinson deep to center field, the furthest part of the park, and it's just short. Cecil Fielder gets the ground rule double. This brings around Tony Phillips to score. And the score is now tied 1-1 as Fielder picks up his 94th RBI of the year. But Milwaukee's quick to counter in the top of the second. Jim Gantner rips Dan Petrie to center field for the RBI single, RBI number 17 on the year. This brings around Derek Hamilton to score, and Milwaukee goes up 2-1. Then in the bottom of the second, Milwaukee starter Ron Robinson subjected to one of life's more embarrassing moments. With Tony Phillips at the plate, Phillips calls for timeout. Robinson continues and just lets one fly into the backstop as we take another look at Robinson just letting one go over B.J. Surhoff's head. Home playing up, Terry Cooney decides, well, he better stock up on a few more balls. On to the top of the third, Dan Petrie still on the mound. Here he's going to get a great defensive play from John Shelby as Dave Parker rips one to the left center field wall, and Shelby makes the great leaping catch into the wall. So we take another look at Shelby's great leaping catch as the score remains Milwaukee 2-1 at the end of 2.5 innings. But then in the bottom of the third, Detroit would get what they need from big Cecil Fielder as he takes Don Robinson deep to left field. No doubt about this one as Cecil Fielder hits his 37th home run of the year, and RBI number 95. As the fan makes a great catch on Cecil Fielder's 37th home run of the year. Here we take another look. The fan's great catch out in the left field stands. As the score is now tied 2-2 at the end of 3. Detroit went up 3-2 on a Chet Lemon sac fly in the bottom of the 5th, but in the top of the 6th, Milwaukee's Robin Yount takes Dan Petrie deep to left field for the solo shot. Home run number 12 on the year and RBI number 56 as Milwaukee ties the score 3-3. Still in the top of the 6th with Milwaukee up 4-3. Paul Molitor rips a single for RBI number 31 into left field, scoring Derek Hamilton as Milwaukee goes up 5-3. But in the top of the 7th, Milwaukee would explode for 3 runs as Rob Deere rips RBI number 60. This is a triple past John Shelby in center field. Robin Yount comes in to score to make the score 6-3. Milwaukee would go up 8-3 at the end of 7. Sparky Anderson can't take anymore as Dan Petrie shows his disgust as Milwaukee rips Detroit 8-4. Ron Robinson the winner, 7-3. Dan Petrie gets the loss, he's 9-9, and Dan Plesac picks up his 19th save of the year.
Thursday night in Cleveland, Minnesota's Kirby Puckett playing the first time in his major league career in right field. Bottom of the first inning, Chris James gets a base hit up the middle off of Kevin Tapani. Jerry Brown scores RBI 49 for Chris James, and that gave the Indians a 1-0 lead. Top of the second inning, the Indians' normal right fielder Corey Snyder will show Kirby Puckett how the position is fielded as he runs a long way to catch Carmelo Castillo's sinking line drive down the right field line, tumbles over and over again, and he's held up by a couple of teammates. We take one more look at the nice play by Corey Snyder in right field for the Indians. Went out in the bottom of the second inning. Sandy Alomar will hit a solo homer off of Tapani into the left field seats. For Alomar, it's his 6th home run of the year, and the Indians lead this game after 2 innings, 2-0. 2-1 in the top of the 3rd inning. Jerry Brown will hit a deep fly ball to right field. Kirby Puckett goes back after it, but it bounces off the wall and over Puckett's head back towards the infield. Brown hustles around the bases and slides into third, safe with a triple. Deion James would then drive him in with a base hit off of Gene Larkin's glove. The ball rolls towards the stands. Larkin is heckled by a fan as he goes after the ball. Brown scores. James slides into second base, and it's 3-1 Indians. Kevin Tapani would lead the game after one more batter with a strained lower left rib cage. First and third, top of the 4th inning, Greg Gagne with a ground ball to shortstop. He beats Brown's relay throw to first base to try to double him up. Shane Mack scored on the play, and it's 4-2 Indians. Nelson Lariano now will strike out on this Greg Swindell pitch to end the top of the 4th inning, and spins around and falls to the ground on the pitch. Move now to the bottom half of the 5th inning. Brooke Jacoby at the plate for the Cleveland Indians. Lifts a fly ball to right field. That would score Candy Maldonado, a sacrifice fly for Jacoby, and it's the first Major League putout in right field for Kirby Puckett. 5-2 Indians. 2 outs still in the bottom of the 5th inning. Felix Fermin would get a double to left field off of Roy Smith. Goes into the corner. Chris James and Corey Snyder score for Cleveland. Fermin is caught off of second base and will be tagged out by Al Newman, and that made the score 7-2 Cleveland after 5 innings of play. We'll move on now to the top of the 5th inning. Greg Swindell still in for the Indians. He strikes out Carmelo Castillo on some real high heat that Castillo just can't handle, sending him back to the bench. Swindell makes a funny face after the strikeout. Man on, 2 outs, top of the 7th inning. Gene Larkin gets a base hit to right field off of Swindell. Newman comes in to score from third, RBI 35 for Larkin, and it's 7-3 Cleveland after 7. Bottom of the 8th inning, Kirby Puckett was the man of all positions. First, he started out at shortstop. Then he moved on over to third base. Didn't get any fielding chances. Then he moved to second base, where things got interesting. As Manto lifts a fly ball for the Indians towards right field, Puckett goes back and almost collides with the new right fielder, John Moses, who makes the catch to end the inning. And Puckett has a laugh as he jogs off to end the 8th. Top of the 9th, 7-4, pinch hitter Kent Herbeck with a base hit off of Doug Jones. Nelson Lariano scores RBI 59 for Herbeck, 7-5 Cleveland. Gary Gaide would then hit into a 6-4-3 double play to end the game. 7-5 Cleveland wins. Swindell the winner, he's 9-7. Tapani the loser, he's 11-6. And Jones picks up his 33rd save.
Quite a few Atlanta Braves fans in town to see their club take on the Pirates. Top of the 1st inning with 1 on and 2 out. Francisco Cabrera takes Randy Tomlin deep over the head of Gary Redus. Coming around to score is Ron Gant, RBI number 13 for Cabrera, as he ends up at second with the double. Jim Presley holds at third, and it's 1-0 Atlanta. Then in the bottom of the 1st inning, watch this. Lonnie Smith trying to play this ball, hit by Bobby Bonilla, and he totally misses the ball. They give Lonnie Smith an error on that one, as he should have caught it. Would have been the last out of the inning, but Bonilla flew out to center field to end the inning anyway. Now Bobby Bonilla shows Lonnie Smith how to play the lines at Three Rivers. Dave Justice golfs this one deep down the line, but there's Bonilla who makes the catch at the bullpen wall. Great catch by Bobby Bonilla as you take one more look at the concentration, as he knew exactly where that wall was. Bottom of the 2nd inning, Jeff King up against Tom Glavine. Nobody out and nobody on, and Jeff King cracks his 6th home run of the season. RBI number 32, and that ties the score up at 1 apiece as this one goes up there in the left field seats. And the fans chase the ball. And that one went 378 feet according to the scoreboard, as Jeff King ties the game at 1 apiece. And as you can see, Jeff King gets his arms fully extended on that Tom Glavine pitch. Top of the 3rd inning, Randy Tomlin still in there for the Buccos. Another great catch coming up by Bobby Bonilla. Ron Gant, the batter this time, he sends this one deep. But Bobby Bonilla flags this one down as he gets on his horse and makes the play. One more look at this great catch by Bobby Bonilla to end the top of the 3rd. It's still 1-1 at Three Rivers. And the score would remain tied for a while as you check out this guy here. he fell over backwards across his seat, and his friends had to help him up.
Then in the top of the 7th, with Pittsburgh up 2-1, Dave Justice takes Randy Tomlin deep to right field for the solo home run, his 18th home run of the year. Now Justice has hit 10 home runs in his last 43 at-bats, as the score is now tied 2-2. But the Pirates would strike back in the bottom of the 7th. Andy Van Slyke facing Tom Glavine. He rips Glavine to left field for his 51st RBI of the year. This brings around Gary Reedus to score, and the Pittsburgh Pirates go up 3-2 as things get rolling in the stands at Three Rivers Stadium. But the Braves refuse to go down without a fight here in the top of the 8th. Jeff Treadway rips RBI number 50 off of Stan Belinda. This brings around Ernie Witt to score, and the score is tied 3-3 after 8. But with one out in the bottom of the 9th, Andy Van Slyke facing Kent Merker. Van Slyke rips home run number 13. This is a game winner, as Pittsburgh goes on to win 4-3. Bob Kipper gets the win. He's 5-1. Kent Merker gets the loss. He's 4-2. As Pittsburgh stays a half a game up on the second place Mets in the NL East.
In New York, where the Mets are hosting the Los Angeles Dodgers, Darryl Strawberry's sitting out this afternoon, and he's having some fun in the New York dugout with Dwight Gooden. And across the way, they share in a conversation with their ex-teammate Juan Samuel in the Dodgers dugout. In the top of the second inning, with 2 outs, Mike Sharpison will put LA up 1-0 with his first major league home run, a solo shot to left field off Ron Darling. 1-0 Los Angeles, his 24th RBI of the year, his first home run in 446 at-bats. In the top of the 4th inning, the Dodgers looking to pick up some more runs. Runners on first and second and 2 outs. Mike Sharpison singles to right field, and Darren Reed, who's playing in his first game since being called up, makes the great throw home to get Eddie Murray at home plate as Mackie Sasser makes the tag, and that play ends the inning. In the bottom of the 4th inning, with nobody out, the Mets tie this game up at 1 apiece. Dave Magadan with a double to the right field corner. Darrell Boston scores from first base as he was running on the play. And the game is all tied up at 1 apiece. Magadan with his 40th RBI of the year, and he qualifies for the batting race today. He's hitting .332. That places him 3rd in the batting race. Still in the bottom of the 4th inning with 1 out now, it's Howard Johnson with a double off Tim Belcher. Cal Daniels dives, but he can't come up with it. Magadan comes in to score, and it's 2-1 Mets. For Johnson, it's his 66th RBI of the season. Ron Darling pitched 6 innings this afternoon. He allowed 1 run on 8 hits. He struck out 5, and there in the top of the 5th, he gets Kirk Gibson with runners on first and second. Tommy Lasorda looks like he needs a wake-up call, and Howard Johnson gives him one. He leads off the bottom of the 6th inning with his 19th home run of the season, and the Mets take a 4-1 lead. RBI number 67 for Johnson. And there you see John Franco looking to cool off in the bullpen, but things would get quite a bit heated up for Franco on the field in the top of the 9th. Runners on first and second and 1 out. Samuel with the ground ball hits Mike Sharpison as he runs to third base. He goes all the way home, but he is called out by home plate umpire Terry Tata. The runners being sent back to first and second. And Sharpison is called out. Tommy Lasorda arguing the play along with Sharpison. We'll take one more look at it. You'll see the ground ball, and it just hits the back of Sharpison's heel. UB Brooks will fly out to center field to end this game. The Mets taking it 4-1. Lasorda still with some unkind words for home plate umpire Terry Tata. When the game is done, Ron Darling, the winning pitcher, is 5-7. Tim Belcher takes the loss. He's 9-10. John Franco picking up his 27th save.